basically sucking the essence of our youth.
Right.
And they believe they're possessed by an off-world entity.
They do?
Yeah, and then, Joe, I've been on air 22 years. I don't get into aliens, metaphysical, religion, any of that. I've studied the elite, and I've also communicated with a lot of the top people. And if you want to know, I will actually break down right now the best knowledge right now what's happening on the planet.
What's happening?
Let me give you a basic gestalt.
Okay. I love when you can use that word with full confidence. I've never said that. Let me give you a basic gestalt. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm such a fraud.
No, you're not.
No, but that's what I think if I use that word.
No, you'll get all this. You'll already have most of the
Okay.
static because you're a bookworm, a research worm, in a good way. The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix. But the good ones don't ever want to organize. The bad ones didn't want to organize because they lust after power. Powerful consciousnesses don't want to dominate other people. They want to empower them, so they don't tend to get together until things are really late in the game. Then they come together. Evil's always defeated because good is so much stronger. And we're on this planet, and Einstein's physics showed it, Max Planck's physics showed it, there's at least 12 dimensions. And now that's why all the top scientists and billionaires are coming out saying it's a false hologram. It is artificial. The computers are scanning it and finding tension points where it's artificially projected, and gravity's bleeding in to this universe. That's what they call dark matter. So we're like a thought or a dream that's a wisp in some computer program, some God's mind, whatever. They're proving it all. It's all coming out. Now, there's like this sub-transmission zone below the third dimension. It's just turned over to the most horrible things is what it resonates to. And it's trying to get up into the third dimension. That's just a basic level consciousness to launch into the next levels. And our species is already way up at the fifth, sixth dimension, consciously, our best people. But there's this big war trying to basically destroy humanity because humanity has free will, and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend, and not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man, which is kind of like a false transmission because they're thinking what they are is ugly and bad, projecting it onto themselves instead of believing, no, it's a human test about building us up. And so Google was set up 18, 19 years ago. I knew about this before it was declassified. I'm just saying I have good sources. That they wanted to build a giant artificial system. And Google believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures, so that they will have current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is, once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true 2.0 in a very bad way, hive mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us, not in some PKD wirehead system where we plug in and give up on consciousness because of unlimited pleasure, but because we were already wired in and absorbed before we knew it by giving over our consciousness to the system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place and to block these systems and to try to have an actual debate about where humanity goes and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires that are in control of this AI system before humanity's destroyed.
Wait a minute,
humanity is only
control of AI? How'd the pedophiles get in control of AI?
The pedophiles at a whatever level, the devil, whatever you want to call it, this interdimensional thing that gives them advanced off-world technology, the fallen one that's not of this world, is giving them advanced knowledge on how to construct these systems that have already been used before on other populations.
What?
Is that Satan?
But what are you talking about?
That's Satan.
But explain that. You're saying
Satan becomes something that the stupid preacher tells you about who's totally controlled, or something you read about on in the news or TV.
Right.
But this is an interdimensional force that wants to influence us to build something something that absorbs us and kills us, rather than the divine free will we're given to build something much better that empowers the species. So the species is now making a decision about its entire future.
Where are you getting this from?
That's what it is.
But where are you getting it from?
I know, from looking at all the data, researching and studying.
This is a war on consciousness. That's why he said that when they ended up finding out and discovering these things about the universe, they found out that we're inside of some type of God's mind. The universe is pure consciousness, and we're talking about a highly advanced super consciousness that controls the all. Based off the Kabbalion, mind is all and all is mind. And one of the first Hermetic principles is the universe is mental, which means everything was created from the mind that manifested into the physical. What is that mind? That mind is what we call the universal brain, which is the God's mind, which is the actual source of all. Because all is mind and mind is all. The all created outside of itself to experience itself, which is what we call the collective consciousness. We are the creators that is experiencing our creation. These powers that be know that we are plugged into a higher power. And that's why they have been using massive mind control on the collective consciousness, trying to keep us at a certain frequency so that way we don't reach higher states of consciousness. They can't tap into these higher states of consciousness because they have a cap, because they are inorganic to this planet. They need technology to transcend. We are infinite, they are finite. This is where Neil Armstrong quote come into play. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Why? Because this is no advancement for the original organic indigenous beings on this planet. But for the inorganic beings, this will be an advancement for them because they cannot naturally ascend. For the organic beings, this will be a form of light code lockdown and imprisonment of the consciousness. They need technology to go through their transcendence. We naturally can reach higher states of consciousness on our own without using other extra resources outside of the natural. Because this original matrix that we exist in is all about the evolution of the soul. So this place is a place that you come to perfect yourself. See, this AI artificial system only control their artificial construct that they have created outside of the original construct. And this is why mind control has been one of the major tools that they have used on the people. Because if they can control your minds, they can control your perceptions and the reality that you create. And they also can control what kind of reality you create by controlling your perception. This alien technology, which is your artificial intelligence, have already been in effect. If you ever notice, a lot of people can't even remember phone numbers without having a phone. They can't even remember how to spell nothing because they got to go to Google. You are relying on the system, not understanding that this system have already taken over. This is what you call the body snatchers. Things that we consume have been loaded with nanotechnology. Even the chemtrails. They have loaded up this atmosphere with artificial intelligence and nanotechnology. And these things have gotten inside of our bodies, which is these foreign objects that have been trying to control our consciousness and our minds. We have all been chipped. And this is what you call the neural link. If you ever notice how sometimes you would think of something and you'll go to your phone and it's right there, this is a sign of being linked into this artificial system. And our people have become so reliant on this artificial system that you have failed to realize that you have already been plugged into it. And it's up to you now to make a choice to either become a part of the hive mind and they steal your consciousness, or either you disconnect yourself from this artificial system and their systems of mind control. Reaching higher states of consciousness is the only way you can dismantle their system, because the moment you become awakened and you reach higher states of consciousness, you remove yourself out of their false construct. And that is exactly what's happening right now. A lot of us are exiting this false construct, and some are not going to be able to identify whether or not if it's real or not, because they plan on our neurobiological system. And by doing that, many are not going to be able to identify with what's real or not, because it is designed to fool the human mind to make you believe that you are living in the normal world, but you are not. Only those who have awakened and have disconnected themselves from this artificial system will be able to survive this major shift.